Welcome back to another edition of the Pagcast. I'm your host, Michael Pagani, and I'm joined alongside Mount Royal Cougars defenseman Remy Aquilon. Remy, welcome to the Pagcast. Thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So, as I always like to do with my interviews, I like to open up with just how have you been doing recently?
Pretty good. School finished up, so that's a big load off the shoulders. And then I drove home not too shortly after my exam, so I'm just sort of easing into the back home life.
So, I'm not sure if you've heard, but Ryan Leonard had a crazy week there just getting started with the NHL. And one of the things that he had to do was submit a test on the same afternoon or like same day as Ovechkin scored to break Gretzky's record. So, has there been anything crazy that you've had to do being that school athlete?
Nothing like that, obviously. Yeah, I don't know. That one's pretty tough to top. I would say me and a couple other buddies in our team, when we were at nationals, the day of our first game there, we had to do a test. I'm not
No
saying we did.
way.
Yeah, I'm not saying we did it together, but we had to do it. Yeah,
I don't want to go on the record of saying that we cooperated, but we
yeah,
might have cooperated.
yeah, absolutely.
That's hilarious. What class was that for?
Operations management.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
so because I know that with D2L and other kind of online classrooms, they have different setups. So, what was the test setup for you?
It was just a quiz, so it was a quick one. I think it was about like 30 something questions.
Did
And then it was
Sorry,
just
go
like
ahead.
Excel and stuff. Yeah.
Okay,
So,
so I'm sorry, I was gonna ask, like, did you have to download the shutdown browser, lockdown browser, or no?
oh no, we didn't, thankfully. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yo, we're clicking here.
Yeah, it was going. It was good.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, okay, so I guess like with Nationals, that was your playoffs. We got the NHL playoffs going on right now. Is there a series in specific that you're kind of looking at that you're kind of looking forward to watching?
Um, I'd say I've watched all the series. My roommate back in Calgary, Josh Tarswell, he's a big Toronto fan, so we were watching that one pretty heavily. And then I don't know, I think there's a couple friends playing on some teams, so sort of checking in there. I like watching the Winnipeg series though. That one's pretty exciting.
I gotta
Good
say, I love the
two both
whiteout.
teams. Yeah, it's crazy. So I don't know. Yeah, all the teams in the playoffs are quite the teams obviously to make it in. So it's pretty fun.
Well, what friends are playing on the playoff teams?
Well, I played with Jake Neighbors back in the day. He's on St. Louis, and then my old D partner in Prince Albert, Caden Gooley, he's on Montreal. So I've been watching him pretty closely, which is great to see. So
Yeah, I mean, Jake Neighbors, he had a fantastic, both of them, to be honest, had fantastic careers. They were on that stacked Edmonton Oil Kings team, and that really made that push for the Mem Cup. I think they won the WHL championship that year, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken.
they did. Yeah, they had a
But they were
crazy team.
loaded.
Yeah, yeah, their whole first line I think played World Juniors, and then their goalie as well. So it was like I don't know. It was tough to go into that building and play against those guys, but you're pretty fired up to play against such good talent. So
Well, what are you going to be focusing on this offseason?
um, good question. I think there's lots of things to improve on. I like working out, so I'll be in the gym lots and whatnot, sort of just like getting stronger and faster, and maybe watching a bit more hockey, sort of tuning in on people rather than like the game, watching like players I like to watch and seeing what they do consistently and whatnot. So yeah, it should be a good summer of that.
Well, that leads me to my next question is, was there a player growing up who you wanted to model your game after?
When I was younger, I used to be a forward, so I liked Marcus Naslin a lot. I'm a big Vancouver fan, so that's one person I wanted to play as. And then I switched to D when I was like maybe 13 or something like that. Uh, and that D man, that my favorite. I don't know. I had an uncle, a great uncle that played in the NHL. So I thought like when I was a kid, I was like, oh, that's awesome. I'll look up to him. But he played like long time ago. I liked watching like Duncan Keith and Drew Doughty and stuff like that. And the Rockets here, I'm from Kelowna, so they had lots of pretty amazing like defensive players and stuff like that. Yeah, so I liked watching all those guys as well.
Did you go to a lot of Rockets games?
Oh yeah, I grew up. We would like always go almost every single game. That was the thing to do on the weekends and whatnot. So it was pretty lucky.
Well, then how cool was it? So you grew up as a huge Rockets fan. You get drafted into the WHL or you signed with the WHL. So how cool is it that, like, looking back, you're this young kid and then you grow up, you're playing in the WHL. That must be really cool.
Yeah, I remember sitting in the stands with my dad, and he was saying I was super young, but he's like, yeah, like 16-year-olds are playing in this league, and I was just like amazed. I was like, holy, that's pretty impressive. And then I got to play. I didn't play a full season when I was 16, but I played a couple games and sort of like a cherry on top to all that. So it was pretty special.
Would you say your dad is your biggest influence for hockey?
I would say my dad and my mom. Yeah, for sure. They play a pretty big role, I'd say, driving me to practices and whatnot. And then my brother played hockey back in the day, so I looked up to him quite a bit and like always wanted to be playing against him, competing against him. So yeah, my family for sure.
I'm sure that the mini sticks battles were just insane as well.
They were crazy. There was like too many fights, too many. Yeah, he's older than me, so he always won, but made
Oh
me
yeah,
tougher.
of course, right?
Yeah,
I'm sure as the younger brother, you would be thrown in that too.
yeah, I was actually absolutely.
Well, since you're from Kelowna, did you grow up as a Canucks fan?
Yeah, yeah. Ever since I can remember, my dad was sort of, I don't know, it was always the game on TV, and then my like dad's great uncle or whatnot played on the Canucks, so it was another reason to cheer for them. So
Did you ever make it down for the Olympics in 2010 or no?
I did not know, but I remember that vividly. We were watching in the before a game in the like
Yeah.
lobby. Yeah, it was crazy. Everyone was. It was pretty
Because like
fun.
I'm just trying to get a vibe. Like, what was the buzz like? Obviously, Kelowna is a lot further, out of town from Vancouver. So I wasn't sure if, like, I guess you could say that the buzz reached every province, right? Because it is in Canada. So
Yeah, absolutely. It was Cologne is pretty funny. It used to be a smaller town. It's grown a lot like as of recently, but it's still quite the hockey town. Yeah, there was a big buzz around for the 2010 Olympics.
well, let's get into kind of your story. So, a lot of guys went through the Pursuit of Excellence program, the POE. How did that get you ready for the WHL, and why did you choose to go to POE?
Um, you know what? It was sort of a shot in the dark. I played my like minor hockey in Kelowna, and like didn't really plan on leaving at all. And then my dad was like, "We'll just try and go and skate there." And then I went to like the showcase, it's called, and yeah, I ended up playing there, which was great. My coaches really helped develop me, and we trained every single day of the week, and like we went to school, but like it was basically it was a hockey academy, so you're doing a lot more hockey than school. But I had a great time. Yeah, it was super fun.
Well, then you joined the Victoria Royals at the end of kind of their season and then played in a few playoff games. Looking back, how important were those, few playoff games that you got a chance to play in?
Yeah, it was awesome that year. They had like a super strong team. I could play with some great players and make some great friends. So it was super fun, and I'd say it was a pretty big eye opening from where I came from to like go and play in front of that many people and against that level of talent. But it was like the best opportunity I've like had. So it was awesome.
Well, one of the cool things about that playoff run is that you guys went up against the Vancouver Giants and you beat them in 6 games, I believe. But the one game that I want to talk about is Game 6. It featured Noah Gregor's overtime goal. So, from your perspective, like, what was it like playing in playoff hockey overtime?
But it was insane. Yeah. The I don't know if it was because I was so young, but I was like in awe of everything these guys did. And like, yeah, Greg's was like unbelievable back in the dub, and he still is. But like that guy, yeah, he was something else. It was like watching someone just like play against the boys. Really, he was like unbelievable.
How long did it take for you to settle into the overtime period?
Oh yeah, quite a while I'd say. I'm stretching my memory back pretty far, but it's I don't know. It was quite the eye opening experience. You know, like playing against those guys and let alone like a playoff game in overtime and stuff like that. It's like quite the opportunity. I'd say it took a couple of shifts, I'd say, to settle in there. So
Well, when you're going through junior hockey, and I guess with university hockey too, like how important is that with there when there is no roster turnover like there is elsewhere?
Yeah, it's different. Coming from the WHL when I was 20, we honestly you don't really know a lot about U Sports. You sort of just like, there's school involved and like the basics, but yeah, when you go somewhere and you got to stay there for 4 years, it's you dream about doing that in the WHL, when you get brought to your first team. And sometimes that doesn't happen. Like I was traded to Prince Albert, but to stay in one spot, you get to know everyone really, really well. And I'd say I've been pretty lucky with the group that we had, and like I've made friends that I'll have for a lifetime. So it's a great experience to go into a place knowing you're going to be there for like minimum 4 years, right? And have like your best buddies beside you for the whole ride. It's pretty special.
Well, I want to talk about that trade to the Raiders. How did you find out about it?
I was told before from the GM. He just told me that there was like a little buzz going around. But yeah, it was just a phone call one day, and then after our like little preseason tournament, and then yeah, I just got told when I went to the rink the next day and flew out like I don't know, maybe 3 to 4 hours after the phone call. So I had to pack my room really quickly and then just fly to Prince Albert.
Was it a little bit difficult to go going from different billet families?
Um, in the first like start, I was pretty nervous. I got into Prince Albert pretty late, but I was lucky. Both my billet families, like in Victoria and Prince Albert, I'm still in touch with them. Like I still talk to them all the time, and they're great families. And I'm sure all billet families, they make you feel really invited, and like they make you feel like family. So it's the transition's a lot easier than you'd think, but it was for sure sad leaving one, but another happy experience going to the other.
So was the trade a little bit of a shock to you when you had to show up to the rink and pack your bags?
Um, a little bit. I sort of had a feeling that I get traded just with like the situation there, but I was pretty excited. I've never been, or at that point I hadn't been to Saskatchewan before, and the Raiders won the year before, so and there was like unbelievable players there still playing, so it was definitely a good opportunity, and I'm like in the end of it, I'm pretty happy I got traded. I was put in a good opportunity and with a lot of great players, so it was pretty fun.
Well, one of those players you mentioned, Caden Gooley, he's one of your better friends. You had the chance to play with him. Is anything that he's doing with Montreal surprising to you, or was his development kind of what you expected?
Yeah, I mean to do it in the NHL is like so impressive, but watching him in junior, he was and playing with him like not really surprised at all. He was like just a different breed. That guy, he would hit everything he could do. It seemed like he wouldn't do anything wrong. He was just like a specimen of a human as well, and a good dude. So it was pretty fun to watch that firsthand. And we had quite the decor my years in Prince Albert. So it was like he was put in some situations to play, and just like every single situation he was put in, he like strived and just like took advantage of it. So I'm not really shocked that he's doing it in NHL now.
Do you have a funny Gooley story?
Not really. I mean, it was sort of tough because when I went to Prince Albert, we played the 1 year and then we got shut down right before playoffs, and then we had the bubble. So we stayed. We had one floor in the bubble, but then Gould he broke his finger and had surgery, so he was like gone. And then the next year I played with him a bit, and then he got traded. So I don't know a funny story. There's probably tons, but I'm sort of blanking on one that's put my
Or does
finger on it.
anything stand out about him?
He's quite loud. He likes to talk, and like sort of before the game he gets really fired up, and you can like build off that. So he's a pretty fun presence to be around.
Well, let's talk about that kind of season that got shut down. So, how did you find out that, that specific season was going to get canceled?
Um, yeah. So I'll go back to the start. We had like a meeting. I can't remember for our season actually if we played all the games or we had a couple games left over, but we had a meeting and then we were sent home, and they said, yeah, we'll get like started up again, and then we kept having like weekly Zoom calls as a team, just to like keep us updated and see what happened. And I think we did that for quite a while, and then we were told like was shut down. And then yeah, it sort of went on to the next season. I guess we didn't really know when we were going to start, but or like even if we were going to start. So it was pretty, I don't know, heartbreaking, I guess, because we had a great team the year we got shut down. And then going into the bubble, it was like such a weird experience. It was fun, obviously, like completely secluded from everything, but we were lucky enough to play some games. So yeah, it was just crazy, that whole experience, getting shut down and playing.
Well, it leaves a sour taste in your mouth because guys had such a stacked team, and you're wondering, or you're left wondering what could
Yeah,
have been, right?
yeah, absolutely. I know. Yeah, it's funny because Clay Hannes, like did an interview with him not too long ago, and he played on Portland, and they had a good team that year too. But like I think we lost to him when we went down there, or we might have beat him. I can't remember, but yeah, we would always joke. Me and Spencer Mo, we played on the Raiders together, and then there's a couple of Portland guys, so we'd always joke about who would like had the better team that year and whatnot. But like you can't. No one's winning that argument because
We don't
we never
know.
got played. Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it was yeah, sucks, but it's fun going back and forth in the room.
What was that bubble like for you? You know, you go to you would have been in, because there's two bubbles. There's one for the States and then one for the rest of the WHL,
There was
or was it three?
there was four, yeah, three. No, there's four actually. There was the
Okay.
States, BC, Alberta, and then Saskatchewan with like the
Okay.
two Manitoba teams. Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
So I
but
guess like my question there is like what was that whole situation like? Because you know the Calgary Hitmen, they slept at their arena.
yeah, yeah. It was pretty crazy. We had all the teams stayed in the University of Regina like dorm rooms. So we got four guys to a room on the floor, and you got to see those guys every single day, like for the whatever it was, a couple months that we were in there. But it was crazy. We had to like book times when we could go outside and like go for walks and whatnot. Like you weren't allowed to leave. We had to get tested like all the time, which
Yeah.
sucked. But we made do what we had. We played a lot of video games, and we would actually play against some other WHL teams. We had like a little squad and stuff, so that was
No
pretty fun.
way.
Yeah, yeah. I played Call of Duty, was big back then, still is now, but yeah,
Yeah, that's insane.
yeah,
So like could you imagine squatting up with guys from Calgary and other people within that bubble? That's insane.
yeah. It was pretty fun. There would just be like guys from like my buddy Tanner Brown. He used to play on the Giants, and then like
Yeah.
people, and then you're like, oh, you want to play against our team, and then yeah, there'd be a
You
little
guys be
chirping back and
beating
forth.
each other too.
Yeah,
I'm sure of
exactly.
it.
Yeah, it was great.
Okay, well, I guess in your final year with the Raiders, you were named assistant captain. So, what did that mean to you at the time?
Yeah, it was a huge honor. I was honestly, when I was like 19, we had the short season, and then I didn't really know what was going to come after that, like where it was going to be or what was going to happen. So to get given a spot on the team as a 20-year-old and to wear the A, it was a huge honor. And the Prince Albert's been around for so long, and their like leaderships before them, even the guys that I played with that wore A's were exceptional like people, and just sort of wanted to live up to them. So it was pretty awesome.
Well, I want to talk about now MRU. Why did you commit to Mount Royal?
Um, yeah, I don't know. There was a couple teams reaching out, but I was able to chat with Bert, and sort of just like it's a smaller university, and had been out of school for 3 years or whatever it was, and it just sort of appealed to me. It's not too far away from Kelowna, but it's like not close either, so it's a good mix. And also I had a Spencer Mo on the team, so he sort of like talked to me and told me to come here and whatnot.
He
So
recruited you.
yeah, basically he's a little scout in the
Yeah,
making.
exactly. He's an insider.
Yeah, exactly. No, but I'm happy with my decision, so it's been good so far.
Well, so for the playoffs with U Sports, it's best of three, and then with the WHL, it's best of seven. So when you're going from playing best of seven to best of three, how big of a change is that for you?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Uh, just like having a weekend to play a playoff series is pretty eye opening, and it makes you lock in like pretty hard because every game matters, right? So it's honestly it's fun just because you're like short period of time, couple of games, you're just like balls to the wall, like just playing so hard, and you want to win every battle that much more. But it's sort of like game sevens, I guess, just like in one weekend. So I enjoy it.
Well, yeah, I mean, for sure, right? Because if you go down 1-0, like your backs are against the wall. You don't want to get
Like,
swept.
exactly, yeah, and it's I don't know, yeah, it's a crazy feeling just to like even when you're up, the next game, you know that team's gonna come out because their season's on the line, and then the third game is a game seven, like actually. So it's yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Well, your former teammate Landon Kosher, he joined the Saskatchewan Huskies. Have you played against anyone that has now joined MRU?
What do you mean in like the WHL and stuff?
Yeah,
Or
yeah. So I guess Clay Hannis would be a perfect example,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. There's quite a few dub guys. Like my roommate Josh Tarswell, he played on Red Deer and Lethbridge. Kyle Walker. Who else? Yeah, Curtis Smythe, Robbie from Delorme, Blake Stevenson, Connor Bouchard. Like, yeah, there's lots of WHL people on our team, so that's pretty great
That must
hearing
be
their
fun
stories
to
about.
now be on the same team as those guys, right?
Oh yeah, totally. And like hearing about guys and like guys you might have mutually played with or got traded to a team, it's pretty funny. Yeah.
Because I'm sure you guys talk about some sort of junior stories.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, there's an endless amount from yeah, both teams.
One of the bigger rivalries with the MRU Cougars is against the Calgary Dinos, the Crow Child Classic. What's that like playing in it?
That game is insane. It's honestly it's like almost too much. It's crazy. Like the fans are just so loud and they're all drinking, and it's just like there's points on in time in the game where you like can't even hear the coach talk to you, let alone like on the ice. It's wild. Yeah, it's if you get a chance to go, you got to go watch.
It's definitely on my to-do list for sure.
Yeah.
Because like I've just been hearing it from so many players and so many other people that have been to Crow Child. It's insane.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's I remember being in my first Crow Child, and Mr. Brightside came on that song, and the song stopped, but so the play was going on, and the crowd was singing it, but it was like it was like so loud. You're like looking around, like, oh, what's going on? Like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was insane. And then every year, it just seems like it's getting bigger and bigger. Like this year, we broke the record again for my first year, and it was just as wild.
Well, what's it like breaking that record for fans attending the games? Do you even notice it or no?
Um, yeah, I'd say you notice the crowd for sure, but like, yeah, how many people are there? They all just like blend in. They're just like so packed in there in the Saddle Dome, and it's such a cool rink. It looks like they go like outside of the rink, so it's crazy.
What's it like playing in the Saddle Dome?
Yeah, it's awesome. The Calgary Hitmen play there, so I played there before, but they don't get nearly as many fans as that. So it makes that much game or like that game that much more special.
It makes it for a different atmosphere too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Like the rink being half and half MRU, half UFC, it's like constant noise and constant, yeah, it's like not pressure, but like you want to win, obviously, and having your side of the rink of MRU like just scream, and who knows, they might not have watched a hockey game in their life or whatnot, or if they're like hockey fans, but they're still like going all out for their team, like MRU. So it's pretty cool.
Your teammate Clay Hannis, he had a fantastic season this year, setting U Sports and MRU records. Did you kind of expect that from him leading into this year?
Clay is like an unbelievably like special player, but uh, like being U Sports Player of the Year. Am I surprised? I mean, like, sorta. It's pretty phenomenal for a D man to do that. But like watching him play and seeing what he can do, like at the same time, I'm not surprised at all because he's a great guy and a great friend of mine, but he's like an unbelievable player and it's like super super talented. So yeah, it was pretty amazing for that achievement of his.
Well, I want to move on to nationals now. And how do you go about preparing for a team that you've never seen before with the TMU Bold?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. Honestly, it was I don't know, it's I wish we did more of those tournaments just to like so you could play against like teams like that and like get to see
Yeah.
them more. But you just sort of like watch video and then I guess sort of focus in on things that you gotta focus on. Like for D-men, just like watching power play or seeing what they do down low or whatever it is, how they score their goals. So it was different, but it was an unbelievable experience to do that.
So this is, I guess, like an odd question that just came to me. Like, do you watch how they dump the puck in two and how to retrieve it?
I mean, you sort of you don't watch how, but like you figure if they do it a lot or like if they're more of a zone, if they like possession entering the zone and whatnot. But yeah, just sort of little things like that. You don't focus on like the little things too much, but just because it's one game. But you also got to be pretty dialed in about what plays they're gonna run.
Well, how do you think the game went against the Bold? Like, were you expecting to play 8 periods of hockey?
No, I was. I kept saying after the game, I think I'm in shock. Like it was like I didn't know what to make of that game. It was like wild. It was not how we wanted to it to end, but like it was just like so long that you're like at the end of the game you're like I literally left everything out there. Like there was not a if you told me to get back on the ice for another period, I would have been like, I'm okay. I don't know if I can
Yeah,
do
fuck no,
that.
get me out of
Yeah.
here. So did you notice that the arena got more full as the game went on?
Yeah, yeah, I did. I remember someone saying that it was like their family was in the building and then they heard kids that were like, "Oh, did the game already start?" And to the next game, like the University of Ottawa and UNB
Yeah.
game, and they're like, "No, it's like that game's still going on." And they were like, "What?" So yeah, people were in shock, but it was cool to see it fill up. So it was pretty fun for other people to experience that as well.
So, because like the Zamboni broke down too at the
Yeah,
like in between overtime periods. So when you were told that the Zamboni broke down, like did that kind of help ease any cramps or no?
not really, honestly. It's sort of because you're sitting for so long, it sort of made it start up. That's where I like sort of started cramping, just because you're not moving, like to get back
Mm.
into it and stuff. But oh, that was a pain. They're telling us, oh yeah, okay, we're going out, and then they're like, okay, 10 more minutes, and then like delayed a little more and a little more. So it was sort of like a tease almost to get back out there. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, but like out of our control, obviously. So it was at least we got to play the rest of the game.
How did you remain focused when you guys thought you had scored on the wraparound goal, but it was waved off?
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I was on the ice for that, so it was I mean that what even period was that? That was the
Good
third overtime.
question. I couldn't
Yeah.
even remember. Everything's blending in
Yes.
together.
I know. It was sort of tough to stay focused, but you're so tired that you're like, okay, well, you forget stuff quick. I'll say that. Yeah.
So at least you were able to try and refocus because like at one point you guys are thinking you had won the game, you're off to the next round, and then you're
Hmm.
still playing this, for another 3 hours.
Yeah, yeah. I'd say it was a quick refocus. You didn't want to like celebrate too early just because who knows what happened. Who would have thought we would have played that much longer? But yeah, it was pretty crazy.
Well, one thing, I guess, one big news is the NCAA and the CHL players kind of passing the bill there, where now CHL, if you're like an overager, you can commit to NCAA, and that's huge. So I kind of want to just get your thoughts of when you heard about that news.
Yeah, when I heard about it, it was pretty crazy, and there was a lot of texting back and forth with like other kids on other teams and stuff. I remember talking to Landon Kosier, that's on U of S, and we were like, "Oh, have you heard anything? Like, what the heck's going on?" But I think it's a pretty cool opportunity. When you're in the WHL, you dream about going to the WHL, but you also are like, "Oh, I wonder what NCAA would be like," and just get that experience about those facilities and whatnot. So I think it's a great opportunity for those kids. Absolutely.
It is a little bit unfortunate that it just got passed recently and it wasn't really available for you to consider.
Yeah, yeah, it is a little too late, I'd say. Yeah, I'm graduating next year, so but you know, if it was too like before and I got an opportunity like that, I mean, I'd probably definitely take a look at it and see. It is a like depending on the team, it could be like a really far move
Yeah.
from your family and whatnot, and it'd be different for say like a guy like Clay or something like that from the States. But yeah, the like you see so many guys getting deals out of NCAA, right? And so it's that's probably a big selling point for the 20-year-olds going over.
Well, why do you wear number 25?
Yeah, that's actually a good question. I wore it for the first time in not Prince Albert, POE, because of my like dad's great uncle, Orlando Kurtenbach. He played on the Canucks. He was the very first captain of the Vancouver Canucks. So that's why I wear number 25.
Well, my last question here for you is, do you have any advice for younger hockey players?
Yeah, I'd say don't give up. When I was going through the draft process, I wasn't drafted, and I saw all my buddies getting drafted and whatnot. And it sort of like put a damper on my like mood and everything. You know, you look up to the draft, and then like once you get drafted, you move on to like, oh, I'm gonna play. But I wasn't drafted, and I made the WHL. You just got to keep grinding away. There's definitely still opportunities out there, so I'd say don't give up to a young player.
Well, I'd like to thank again Remy Aquilon for joining me on today's Pagcast. Thank you again, Remy.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's been awesome.